Hello friends and welcome again to the channel, and this time with another comprehensive tier list, this time for One Punch Man World, the arms tier list, not the characters but the arms, and the most important ones that you should have and focus on, and it's a must have on every account. If you don't have this SSR and you made another choice, I hope to God that you will have the luck to get it, or if you get a chance again to pick an SSR arms to unlock, you will be picking one which is the most important, and we'll be going and put it in the characters that can own that. Specifically, these characters only can own that in the SS category. And first of all, it's the free SSR Genos that we're gonna have all of us, and it's the easier and he's the most important one actually. Then you can have the chance to do it with Zombie Man as well, because it's the same, almost the same effect to the team, the SSR arms, and we'll be talking about this. First of all, we're going to talk about Genos, the passive that it will have for him, and what will give him. It will give him composure reduction. It will give him basic composure reduction. And when the amplification is in effect, all of his skills will gain crit damage, and it will amplify more and more until it hits 24% crit damage. This is the most important part of it that you need to understand. Secondly, and this is where Genos and Zombie Man have the same thing together, which is all allies gain might until the end of the battle. So in all of the battle, you're gonna get might. And this is the most important part of this SSR, which is so important and so rare that only both of them have it. And it will give you composure reduction. So this what will have, it will affect your entire team. The effect increases by 100% for overpowered type characters. So if you're playing somebody like Metal Knight with them on the lineup, Genos and Metal Knight, it will affect them. And for Zombie Man, if you're playing somebody else, Morel, I think he's Morel, or here Assault, the same type, he will be giving them 100%, not 40%. So everybody will get the 40% might from Genos. It depends on his composure reduction. So the more that you build Genos on composure reduction or Zombie Man on composure reduction, the more that it will benefit your entire team. When used actively, that skill deals composure damage to the target equal to 2000% of damage of Genos or Zombie Man. And if the target is weak to the class, let's say it's weak to Overpower, which is Genos, the damage is increased by 5-fold. It means it will go 5 times. It means it will go to 10,000% damage when it's used on them, which is a massive hit or a massive punch in the face of your target. Now, many people were asking me, should we build Genos or should we build Zombie Man? The easiest answer for this is building Genos. Genos is easy to play. He doesn't have any bad points building him. He will always have crit damage high on him because of his SSR. Plus, he will help all of your units. He's a spam unit that you can go range and you can go melee with, and he's easy to build, and he will have a lot of spamming skills to deal more damage. Plus, you can build him on his exclusive skill, which is Respect of the Master, which will give him more to his spells. And you can build him on crit rate, and crit rate is very beneficial for him because with crit rate he already gets from his SSR the crit damage. So build him on crit rate, composure reduction, and Respect of the Master, and that's it. You don't need attack, you don't need damage. If you have them, it's okay, it's good to have on him, but these are the main attributes. Is the easiest, simplest hero in the entire game to build. Moreover, for Genos, and why Genos one is so important, is because you're gonna, even Zombie Man will have it at the same also if you're gonna get it to 4-star. At 4-star, if you get it 4 times the SSR arms, if this skill causes the enemy to enter break composure state, all allies gain 10% damage bonus for 60 seconds. It means it's all over. It will buff his composure, buff the damage of the team, give them the composure rate, plus give them 10% damage bonus for 1 minute, which is absolutely crazy. This is the best, and you need it on every lineup. In every lineup, you need either Zombie Man or Genos for the composure reduction to break the enemy constantly, and this will make it easier for you to navigate through the story. Now, in the S category, which is also super important but less important than the composure, but it's also important, especially if you want to play Zombie Man. If you're playing Zombie Man, not Genos, Genos is not a playstyle, Zombie Man is a playstyle, you need 100% to play either Blizzard or Bang because of their SSR if you unlocked their SSR. And their SSR is amazing. For Blizzard, she gains as passive and at the bonus, she gains attack, and with Hellstorm, she gains 10% crit damage boost which is really great for her because she's a unit that deals a lot of damage if you can spam her skills. So playing her with Zombie Man or Genos as well will give her composure, and this will help her a lot. And the active ability from the skill is immediately heals 36% of all allies max HP, and assault type characters gain additional 18% from Hellish Blizzard, which is really important and really good. And this will keep you up in the health in the region that you're not gonna defeat the stage without getting all the stars or the requirements, like go below 40% HP or 75% HP. And for Bang, it's the same thing. If it's the active SSR arms, which will heal all the allies, and of course this will increase if you heal, if you improve or put so much more stars on the SSR arms, and he will heal the technical type, and his base attack will increase with it. It's the passive stats that he will take, and his third skill, the Ancient Martial Arts, that consumes 300 points of Ancient Martial Might, gain a 6% damage boost, and of course when you upgrade it, the damage boost gets more and more. Next we have Sonic, and we have Saitama Dream World. Now Sonic has a base attack that will increase, of course, and increase the crit damage of his Katana Red House by 10%, which is absolutely crazy. 10% of crit damage is absolutely crazy, and it's one of my favorite actually, and it will help him a lot. And his active skill on his arms applies encouragement to all allies for 60 seconds. It means 1 minute, and it will grant them 40% attack and 100% for technique attack bonus, which means if you play Genos, Bang, and Sonic on the same team, you have heals, you have buff for Sonic and buff for Bang with insane damage, and you can play Genos for that composure and for the buffing for the stats. So you have 2 buffers and 1 healer, and the 2 buffers buff themselves and buffs their classes, which is absolutely crazy. And I love to play this lineup. I'm waiting to have Sonic on my free-to-play account, which I don't have yet. I'm having Metal Knight, so Sonic is the last one that is important for me. Situationally, I can play Sonic, and situationally, I can play somebody else like Puri Puri or Terrible Tornado, depending on the situation. I'll be talking about that soon. And for Saitama, it's the same active that Sonic have, which is buffing the allies for 1 minute, giving them 40% attack. And for his moral class, if somebody like Puri Puri playing with him, he will get 100% bonus, not only 40%. But the good thing about it is also for him, which is his passive, which is the base attack will increase. Plus, for every skill on cooldown, his normal attacks will be increasing with damage, and it will stack up to 2 times. That's only on 1 level. If you level it up more, you're gonna get more beneficial stats from it. Next on the list, we have Terrible Tornado. Now, Metal Knight and Puri Puri, I'll be talking about them after her, but she's specifically different than them because of one attribute that she have in different. So, she's also in her SSR arms supportive, but the base things that she gains attack, and she increases the crit damage of Telekinetic Spear and Telekinetic Tornado, which are 2 skills actually, by 10%. This is at 0 star, I think, or 1 star. And this is so important for her. She's one of the best damage dealers in the game, her and Metal Knight. I'll be making a different tier list after we did all the analysis about the heroes, and I will be telling you who's the best damage dealers in the game. So, what does her arm skill does, the active? Grant all allies immunity to paralysis burning. Keep that in mind, burning, because burning is rare to have on an SSR character. So, burning and coma for 40 seconds. When immunity is in effect, attacks on enemies generating coma, paralysis, or burning debuffs reduce their defense by 8%. So this can be used 3 times, which is absolutely crazy. Now next, we have Metal Knight and Puri Puri after her, because they're on the same tier, so they do the same effect with their actives. I'll be talking about their base attack first. So for Metal Knight, he gains base attack, and each negative crit increases damage of his third skill by 0.12. It means every 10% gives him 1.2%, which is really good for his third skill because it deals a lot of damage. It's one of the biggest damage dealing spells in the game. And for his active, actually on his arm skill, it grants all allies immunity to paralysis, rupture, and coma for 40 seconds. So there's rupture here, which Terrible Tornado doesn't have. She have burning, and they don't have burning, they have rupture instead, which is really good. So it's situational, the SSR and the SSR for this, and him also for Puri Puri. This is the difference between them. So it's situational who want to depend and put on your team, which is really good actually to make your team a little bit flexible. And of course, while immune attacks against enemies that trigger coma, paralysis, or rupture, debuffs will also reduce their defense by 8%, and it will increase and increase, and this is really great. For Puri Puri, also his base attack will increase, and Angel Rush, which is the third skill for him, a mini ultimate we call the third skill, gains a 6% damage boost, and he plays with negative crit, which you can build him up on only damage, which is absolutely crazy. Damage and defense and HP will be perfectly, you can pick and choose whatever you want, but damage boost is really great. Don't build him on crit rate, don't build him on crit damage. Defense and negative crit are so good on him, and he will deal a lot of damage. Actually, he deals a lot of damage. He's so underrated, and he's highly recommended, because if you have Metal Knight and you have his arms, you don't need the SSR arms for Puri Puri. The most important one for him is the rarity arms on him, because he will be self-sustaining. He never dies. He actually never dies. He has two defensive abilities. One of them would give him defense and he will be immune to damage, and the other one will trigger the angel wings and hit a counter attack after you dodge perfectly and accurately. Now we go down a little bit in our tier list, and it's not that it's not important, but they are the SR characters and the SR abilities, so we'll be talking about them briefly and tell you what they do. So if you don't have the healing SSRs, you can play something like Stinger. Stinger is really good unit actually, and one of the highest DPS characters in the game with SSRs as well. So he's the most closest one, him and Stinger, I guess, and Mustachio. They are so close, but Stinger shines more than them because of his DPS, because he goes back to back, and you can play him flexibly. He's hard a little bit to master, but it's okay. With time, you can learn him perfectly. And I don't know why they didn't make him SSR. He's so good actually. So what he does, he gains base attack as well, and using 2 bars of Serpent Essence to cast the third skill, which is the Snake Triple Moves, increases the crit rate by 8%. So building him on crit damage will be so much helpful, and attack, because he's a really good DPS unit. And his arm skills applies healing for 2 allies for 8 seconds, restoring 3% of max HP per second, and this can go up crazy. It goes to 12%, I think, per second, which gets them from 50% HP up to 100 or 98%, which is really great for him. And he buffs overpower units, of course, because he's an overpower type. So he buffs Genos and buffs Metal Knight, which is really important. And this is another healer in the game that you can use with his arms. And his arms are SR, not SSR, so most likely you will drop his SR on the long run in the game, and you can use him to use him as a healer on your lineup. Now Stinger is your hope. If you did a mistake and never took the free SR for either Zombie Man or Genos, you can get his SR, and it's easy to get his SR by summoning. You can randomly have it, and it's another one for Composure, which is the alternative for the SR ones for Genos and Zombie Man, which is applies might to yourself and 1 ally for 1 minute, granting 30% of Stinger's Composure reduction stats. This effect increases by 100% for moral characters like Puri Puri and Saitama. So what it does, it will give 1 character only composure, granting them composure reduction stats from his composure. So you need to build him on composure. Plus he will gain crit rate massively from his skill, and of course he will gain basic composure reduction. You play him building him a composure reduction, and you build him on crit damage, because he gains crit rate by his own, which is absolutely crazy. Next we have Rider and we have Smile. Same thing, they do the same thing as Snake does, or Snake, and it heals 2 allies for 8 seconds, restoring 3% of max HP, and when you max it up it goes more. So next we have Jobless Saitama, one of my favorite SR characters in the game by far, and one of the best SR arms actually in the game, and I'll be talking about this. And it's very simple, very easy for him. Now you see him as he tanks a little bit, but he deals a lot of damage actually. Plus you don't build him on defense. He doesn't need to be built on defense. I'll be talking about this. So what does his SR do? It's a replacement for Terrible Tornado, Metal Knight, and Puri Puri if you don't have anything to counter paralysis, coma, or rupture. Of course not burn like Terrible Tornado. Terrible Tornado is different. She has burn, she doesn't have rupture. So we don't have another alternative for that except Saitama for paralysis, coma, and rupture. So what he does is when he gains accurate defense or triggers the accurate defense, he will gain a shield for 10 seconds for himself. This shield is equal to 12% of his attack and cannot exceed the 10% of max HP, of his own max HP. This is why we build him on attack and HP, so the shield will be thicker. Now Iron, with his effect for the arm skill, also for resetting paralysis, coma, and rupture, we're not gonna talk about that, but we will talk about, because it's the same importance as this and it's also a replacement for these three up there. So next we have Genos on the C tier. It's not like he's bad with his arms. His arms is absolutely good. It buffs just like Stinger's one. The thing is about him that it only applies for himself and one other unit with attack, and gives also to Moral are Saitama and Puri Puri, which doesn't deal the most important damage in the game, and this is why he's a little bit less on the tier. But not only that, it's because it affects only his first skill, which is the burning. It's through using the level 2 energy charge increases the crit rate for this skill only by 8%, not all of his skills. So this is what you need to keep in mind, that it's really good. He's really good character, solid overall, because you can spam only 2 skills and use the third skill. It's absolutely good, actually. It's not very bad. He's the easiest character to spam in the game. If you want to play brain dead gameplay without even thinking of what you're doing, just make his bar full and hit his first skill, and this is the most important damage that he will be doing. Similar to him, we have Lily. Also Lily, with her passive skills, she increases the crit rate of in the dazzling state, increased by 7%. So whenever she's outside the dazzling state, she will not gain the buff of the crit rate. This is why it comes below a little bit, but it's the same as Stinger, I think. Yeah, the same as Stinger. It gives you composure. If you don't have the SSR for them, you can play her, and it will give herself and another unit on the lineup composure, and specifically the one from the technical type, which is like Bang, if you want to play her. And she's a really good unit, solid unit, good DPS. She's not the best in the game, she's not even bad, she's not the worst, but she's mediocre, which is really good, and she's handy. You can use her everywhere. She's my main carry at the start of the game, and now she's on my secondary team. I love her game style, I love her gameplay, but she's not the best one with her SR. You can play other arms on her, are rarity if you want them, that she can buff or do anything else, but this is also another situational use for the composure addition for one other character on your lineup. Next we have Mustachio, same as Lily. Same arms skill also will give you composure. It's a different one, but it increases the crit rate for level 2 charged skills that hit the enemy. Only level 2 charged skills. So if the skills are not charged successfully or charged one time or something like that, it will not affect the enemy that much. You need to get them to level 2 charged skills so that it will be affecting and hit the enemy. Actually, you need to hit them, so the crit rate will increase by 8%, and it will increase more if you upgrade this SR. Now lastly in D, which is not bad, but it's the worst one of them, and I know many people will hate this because I said it, Max. And Max is one of the characters that you unlock at the early game, and he's a good unit actually, so speedy, he can dodge a lot of classes, and many people are maining him actually and still having him on the main lineup. So the thing is, he increases the crit rate by 8% for 10 seconds only if you have it at 1 star or 1 time only, and after a great success in the first skill. So if you spam the first skill continuously, you will keep the crit rate up time more than 10 seconds, but it's situational and it's only for one skills, and if you do it with successfully if you do it, actually, this is why it becomes a little bit lower. Now Golden Ball will be in the to be determined because it's a little bit buggy and the text is buggy, and still many people are telling me the skill is bugged. Now I don't know after the video if they will be fixing that or it's fixed already, but he will be in the to be determined. If not, if in the future they will fix him or he become correctly, I will be placing him somewhere here, but so far he's a little bit bugged, so I'm putting him in the to be determined. And we have King, the new character that will be released. Nobody knows when, but he's in the game, so probably they will release him sometime soon in the future, and we will be talking about him when he gets released. So far this is the list and everything that you need to know. I cannot stress enough how important you need to have the arms for either Genos and Zombie Man, or one of them, at least one of them, and on the team you need one of them actually, and one of them is free to play, and you will get an SSR arms free to play, so you need to build up Genos. If you got Zombie Man and you feel you want to go for Zombie Man, go for Zombie Man. These are the most important arms in the game for the break and for the composure reduction, and it's easy for them to be built. Composure is the easiest thing, and the gameplay style, like gameplay for Genos, is so much easy. A little bit harder for Zombie Man to maintaining that HP, but with other SRs, if you have like Bang and you have Blizzard, you can heal him up and you can outcome this difficulty. And yeah, that was it for the video. Let me know in the comment if you like this list, and if you have other comments, and if you have other ideas about it. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, I thank you for watching, and as always, stay frosty. Peace.